What if I told you that the biggest mistake most people make isn't having too few business ideas? It's trying to build too many, too soon. Think about it. You've probably seen people online claiming they own 10 companies, invest in property, trade stocks, run an online store, and somehow still have time to travel the world. It sounds impressive, but here's the question. Did they really start with 10 businesses? Or did they start with just one? Welcome to Promise Invest, the channel where we break down the real principles behind building wealth, growing successful businesses, creating multiple income streams, and achieving financial freedom without the hype and without get-rich-quick promises. Today's journey is one of the most important lessons you'll ever learn as an entrepreneur. By the end of this series, you'll understand why some entrepreneurs successfully own multiple businesses while others lose everything. The simple system that allows one business to fund the next. How someone starting with very little money can begin building towards a business portfolio. And most importantly, why patience often creates far greater wealth than speed. So stay with me until the very end, because one idea in this video could completely change how you think about business forever. Let's begin. The myth of owning many businesses. Imagine two friends. Let's call them David and Michael. Both are ambitious. Both dream of becoming wealthy. Both have the same amount of savings. Both are willing to work hard. Yet 5 years later, David owns one thriving company that generates consistent income. Michael has tried 6 different businesses: a clothing brand, a restaurant, cryptocurrency trading, importation, affiliate marketing, a transport business, and somehow none of them survived. What happened? Did David simply work harder? Was Michael unlucky? Or is there a lesson hidden in their different journeys? Here's something many people misunderstand. Owning many businesses is not the goal. Owning profitable systems is. That's a completely different mindset. Many beginners believe wealthy entrepreneurs wake up one morning and decide to own 10 companies. In reality, most successful entrepreneurs build gradually. They solve one problem exceptionally well. They make that business profitable. They create systems. Only then do they expand. The number of businesses isn't what creates wealth. The quality of each business does. Story segment picture. A young entrepreneur selling handmade products from a small room. Every order is packed personally. Every customer message is answered late at night. Every delivery is stressful. Business is growing, but the owner feels trapped. Why? Because the business depends entirely on one person. Many people think growth means opening another business, but often the smarter move is making the first business work without you doing everything. If your first business cannot survive a week's absence, a second business won't solve the problem. It will multiply it. Business lesson. Here's a principle every entrepreneur should remember. Businesses don't create freedom. Systems create freedom. A bakery with reliable staff, clear processes, and consistent customers can provide more financial security than 5 poorly managed businesses. Success is rarely about doing more. It's about doing better. Wealth mindset shift. Stop asking, how can I own 10 businesses? Start asking, how can I build one business that runs so well it gives me the time, money, and confidence to build another? That single shift changes everything, because wealth isn't built by chasing every opportunity. It's built by mastering one opportunity before moving to the next. Common mistakes. Many aspiring entrepreneurs make these mistakes, starting several businesses before the first one is profitable, confusing being busy with making progress, spending profits to look successful instead of reinvesting, trying to copy someone else's journey without understanding the years of work behind it, believing social media highlights represent everyday reality. Remember, comparison creates pressure. Understanding creates progress. Reflection. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, If you had only one business for the next 3 years, could you make it so valuable that it funds every future dream you have? That's how many successful entrepreneurs think. They don't chase 10 businesses. They build one strong foundation. Because without a strong foundation, every new business becomes another source of stress instead of another source of wealth. So if owning many businesses isn't where the journey begins, why do successful entrepreneurs eventually choose to diversify? Why not simply stay with one profitable company forever? Stay with me, because the next lesson could completely change how you think about building multiple income streams. Why wealthy entrepreneurs diversify. Before the break, we uncovered one of the biggest myths in business. Successful entrepreneurs don't start with 10 businesses. They build one profitable business first. But that raises an important question. If one successful business can make someone wealthy, why do some entrepreneurs eventually build 5, 10, or even more businesses? Is it simply because they enjoy making more money? Or is there a deeper strategy that most people never see? The answer might surprise you. The world's most successful entrepreneurs don't diversify because they're bored. They diversify because they understand one simple truth. Every business has risks. No matter how successful a business becomes, markets change, customer behavior changes, technology changes, competition changes. And if all your income depends on one source, one unexpected event can change everything. That is why wise entrepreneurs don't just build wealth, they build resilience. A story about one basket. Imagine a farmer with one large field. For years, that single field provides enough food to support the family. Everything seems perfect. Then one season brings a severe drought. The harvest fails. Because the farmer depended entirely on one field, the family's income disappears. Now imagine another farmer. Instead of relying on one crop alone, over time, they expand carefully. They grow vegetables on one plot, fruit on another. They keep chickens. Eventually, they start producing honey. If one part of the business struggles, the others continue generating income. The second farmer didn't expand because they were greedy. They expanded because they understood the importance of stability. Business works the same way. Diversification isn't about doing everything. Many people misunderstand diversification. They think it means opening random businesses, a restaurant, a fashion brand, a logistics company, a nightclub, a supermarket, none connected, none supporting each other. That isn't strategy. That's confusion. Real entrepreneurs ask a different question. What business naturally fits with what I already do? That single question separates strategic expansion from expensive mistakes. The power of connected businesses. Let's use an example. Imagine someone owns a successful bakery. Business grows steadily. Customers love the products. Now they notice something. Every month, they spend a significant amount buying flour from suppliers. Instead of continuing forever, they eventually start a flour distribution business. Now one business supports another. Later, they purchase delivery vehicles. Instead of hiring transport companies, they own the transport operation. Eventually, they create a catering business using products from the bakery. Then they launch baking classes. Notice something important. Each new business strengthens the previous one. They're not collecting businesses. They're building an ecosystem. Business lesson. Don't ask, what business should I start next? Ask, what problem does my current business keep paying someone else to solve? Sometimes the next business is hiding inside your existing one. Thinking like a CEO. Employees often think about earning today's salary. Business owners think about earning next month's profit. CEOs think differently. They ask, how do I build something that keeps creating value for years? That shift changes every decision. Instead of chasing quick income, They build assets. Assets continue producing income long after the initial work is done. Common expansion trap. Many entrepreneurs become excited after their first success. Sales increase, customers grow, money starts flowing. Then, instead of strengthening the business, they immediately launch something completely unrelated. Suddenly, they're managing different suppliers, different staff, different customers, different marketing, different financial records. Instead of increasing freedom, life becomes more stressful. Growth without strategy becomes chaos. Wealth reflection. Here's something worth thinking about. Imagine your first business earns enough profit each month to comfortably support your family. Would you risk that success by starting 3 unrelated businesses at once? Or would you carefully build one complementary business that strengthens everything you've already created? Patience often earns more money than excitement. Curiosity, gap. But here's where things become really interesting. Even after entrepreneurs understand diversification, many still fail. Why? Because they build businesses that depend entirely on them. They're the salesperson, they're the accountant, they're the customer service department, they're the delivery driver, they're the manager, and eventually, they're exhausted, which leads us to one of the biggest secrets behind entrepreneurs who successfully manage multiple businesses. They stop building jobs for themselves and start building systems. Motivational reflection. If you're watching this today with only one idea, or perhaps no business at all, don't feel behind. Every entrepreneur who now owns multiple businesses once stood exactly where you are, with one dream, one opportunity, one decision. Success wasn't created overnight. It was built one consistent day at a time. Your first business doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to teach you, because the lessons from your first venture become the foundation for every business you build afterwards. So now we know why successful entrepreneurs diversify. But here's the next challenge. How do you build that very first profitable business, the one capable of funding everything that comes after? Because every business empire begins with one profitable idea executed exceptionally well. Building the first profitable business opening. Every great business empire has one thing in common. Before there were multiple companies, dozens of employees, and several income streams, there was one small business, not 10, not 5, just one. The entrepreneur didn't become successful by chasing every opportunity. They became successful by mastering one opportunity until it generated consistent profits. Today, we're going to explore how to build that first profitable business, the business that can one day finance every other venture. Why your first business matters. Many people believe their first business must be perfect. It doesn't. Your first business is your training ground. It teaches you how customers think, how money flows through a business, how to market, solve problems, and make better decisions. Think of it as building the foundation of a house. If the foundation is weak, adding more floors only increases the risk of collapse. The goal isn't to start the biggest business. The goal is to build one that consistently creates value and earns a profit. Choosing the right business. Don't start a business simply because it's trending. Instead, ask yourself, what problem can I solve? What skill do I already have or can learn? Is there a group of people willing to pay for this solution? Can I start with the resources I already have? The best businesses usually solve everyday problems. Examples include graphic design, video editing, social media management, hairdressing, catering, cleaning services, phone repairs, tutoring, digital marketing, selling products online. You don't need a revolutionary idea, you need a useful one. Validate before you invest. One of the biggest mistakes new entrepreneurs make is spending too much money before proving people will buy. Start small. Sell first, improve later. Listen to customer feedback. Refine your product or service based on real experience instead of assumptions. A business grows because customers trust it, not because the owner spent the most money. Focus beats distraction. People quit too early. They switch businesses every few months because they think success is somewhere else. But every time you start over, you lose momentum. Success usually comes from improving the same business over and over again. Master one thing before moving to another. Consistency compounds. Understand profit revenue is not profit. If your business earns £1,000 but costs £900 to operate, your profit is only £100. Learn to manage expenses. Track every sale. Know your numbers. A profitable small business is more valuable than a large business that loses money. Reinvest. Instead of rewarding yourself too early, when profits begin to appear, resist the temptation to spend them on luxury items. Instead, reinvest in better equipment, marketing training, inventory technology, customer experience. Reinvestment helps a business grow faster and become more resilient. Delayed gratification often separates long-term entrepreneurs from short-term spenders. Build customer trust. People buy from businesses they trust. Deliver quality consistently. Communicate honestly. Solve problems quickly. Treat every customer as someone who could return and recommend you to others. Reputation is one of the most valuable assets a business can have. Develop systems early. Even in a small business, create simple systems. Document how tasks are completed. Use bookkeeping software or spreadsheets. Organize customer records. Create repeatable processes. The earlier you build systems, the easier growth becomes. Learn from failure. Every entrepreneur makes mistakes. A failed marketing campaign, a product that doesn't sell, a difficult customer. These aren't reasons to quit. They're lessons that make future decisions stronger. The entrepreneurs who succeed aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who learn quickly and keep improving. Wealth mindset shift. Stop asking, how quickly can I become rich? Start asking, how can I build something so valuable that customers keep coming back? Long-term thinking creates lasting businesses. Short-term thinking creates constant frustration. Common mistakes to avoid: starting without researching the market, trying to serve everyone instead of a clear target audience, spending profits on lifestyle upgrades too soon, ignoring customer feedback, failing to track income and expenses, comparing your beginning to someone else's success, expanding before becoming consistently profitable. If you're just starting, here's your roadmap. Choose one profitable skill or business idea. Identify a real customer problem. Make your first sale as quickly as possible. Gather feedback and improve. Reinvest profits into growth. Track every financial transaction. Build simple systems. Stay focused until the business generates consistent monthly profit. Motivational reflection. If you're watching this and wondering whether you're capable of building a successful business, remember this: every entrepreneur who owns multiple businesses once faced uncertainty. They had doubts, they made mistakes, they experienced setbacks, but they kept learning, they kept improving, and they kept showing up. You don't need to know everything today. You only need enough courage to take the first step and enough discipline to take the next one tomorrow. Now that you've learned how to build your first profitable business, another challenge appears. How do you stop your business from depending entirely on you? Because if you have to do everything yourself, you don't own a business, you own a job.